Once again, I'm Lee McCraft Jr., aka Zorbaton Less Than Guru, and today we're going to do the Longbowman. The Longbowman is very similar to First Edition, but I did add a few things that I enjoyed about Second Edition. So even though I personally don't really like Second Edition as much, whenever there's something that I enjoy, I always try to figure out a way to incorporate it into the game that I do enjoy to make it more enjoyable. So I always stress make the game your own, take stuff from other things that you like, and the Longbowman is going to be an example of this. Now, one of the things I will say, I did have questions on did I want the Longbowman to be in the Rogue category that I split off, or did I want it to be in the Men of Arms category? And I decided that the Longbowman, the concept is more of they are a sort of like a soldier dealing with the longbow and less of a ranger-ish sneaking tracking type person. So they would more march in an army, although they could do rangery things, and that's why the picture kind of has a elf longbowman, that because elves are nature woodsy type of elves, that fits what their soldiers would do. So let's go up. Attribute requirements straight out of the book. Any alignment. They are physical. They are used to being on the march. They're used to practicing with the bow, increasing their endurance and everything. So I do give them the physical conditioning of +8, which is pretty much across the board for my Men of Arms. Armor tier, though, similar to the Bounty Hunter, I don't really see them as wearing heavy plate armor, heavy plate and chain, etc. So they're tier 2. Tier 2, the medium armor, is also the half suits. So they would be able to do the metal half suits. No restrictions, occupations. You'll see here hand-to-hand longbowman and ranged combat longbowman. As I talked about in my stances video, the way that I corrected what I saw as a problem in rate of fire for specific weapons versus giving you attacks, a rate of fire versus the attacks of a hand-to-hand skill, and how the heck do you combine them? You go into stances, so the range combat longbowman is the best longbow or the best ranged stance. That's their thing. But the hand-to-hand is based off of the hand-to-hand, and that is melee. So I did use the hand-to-hand longbowman, but those bonuses are not when they're shooting arrows. Those bonuses are when they're actually in melee. So that's one of the things that I did. My range stances as well as my throwing stances, the main thing is hitting your target and getting as many projectiles out to hit your target as possible. So there's not much other things that go on. So at level 1, again, that's where you choose your skills. Level 2, you get aimed shot. That's something I believe I took from Palladium 2nd Edition. When we get the abilities, I'll explain that in detail. 3 and 4 are where you're gaining more elective and secondary skills. Level 5, additional hit points. You do that hit point, shot point, back and forth, like all of the Men of Arms. They're getting more physical, but since they do have the aim shot and the superior range and other specific things for longbowmen, they don't get as many of them. So while they'll start equivalent, sooner or later those knights and more focused on melee combat will get the more hit points and shot points to deal with the face-to-face fighting, the close combat fighting. So they get a superior range at 6. At 7, they get some more shot points. At level 8, they get some elective skills. At level 9, hit points. Then 10, secondary skills. At 11, parry arrows. That's something that I just thought was really cool. You see it in movies all the time. I believe it was something in Palladium 2nd Edition. That's where you can actually shoot an arrow out of the sky. I just really love the concept, so I brought it across. But it's something that would take skill, so that's why it takes you to 11th level to get, so a really high level in Palladium. 12 is you get some more elective skills. and then the alternation between shot points, hit points, and shot points. The elective skill is, again, the things that you can get. The occupational are the ones that you're given. The elective skills are the ones that you may take. Um, but it has to be from this list, and the weapon proficiency is anything except for the lance. Secondary skills, you can gain any secondary skills. These are the ones that give a bonus. The aim shot is you spend one of your rate of fire actions, or your, I call them attacks, since I made an actual ranged stance. They spend one of their actions aiming, and the next action, then you get a +3 to strike with it. So it's a bonus. If you're having trouble hitting, you can aim, you get a +3 bonus, and hopefully that helps you hit in your next time. And ranged weapons will get a lot more, even at lower levels. A level 3 range probably gets 3 attacks, where at level 3, the hand to hands might get 2, and then when you get to 4 and 5, you're either a couple or double of what the attacks are. So even if you aimed every time that you aim shot, aim shot, aim shot, you will probably get an equivalent amount as people in comparative levels that are hand to hand. The automatic dodge is a thing. Since it doesn't have a level next to it, they automatically gain it. All my men of arms, except for the longbowmen, get the automatic parry. But I have it where if the longbowman is in a ranged stance and they get met with a melee person gets up to them and the combat starts, they can't parry with the bow. I don't give them an automatic parry, but I do get them an automatic dodge so they can dodge out of the way. And I talked about how that works in other videos. But basically, the gist is, in my games, if you parry and you fail, you can try to dodge. But if you have an automatic parry, if you doesn't cost an action and you fail, you may attempt a dodge that will cost an action. But if you have an automatic dodge, you do it instead of any type of parry. So it's a one and done. So that's where the trade-off is. Parrying, unless you have a shield, you're not going to be able to parry missile weapons or fireballs or things like that. The dodge would allow that, but you don't get a parry. So again, you have a balance type thing. Superior range, they can increase the maximum range of the longbow by plus 25 feet per level, including level 1. So once they get up to 6th level, their range is going to be drastically improved. They're just really good at what they do. And then the parry arrows, they may shoot missiles out of the sky. Arrows, crossbow bolts, sling stone, knives using longbow. It can be used in the range stance and may be used to parry missiles in defense of other people if within range, but it uses an attack, and we count arrows in my game, and it uses an arrow. So while it is cool if you did that with the parry arrow, you could parry the arrow. If you failed, then you could do the automatic dodge, because it's a special thing. So at level 11, they're really good at getting out of the way or preventing them and others, which I think is cool. If you got a wizard and he's going to get hit, and that's going to give him pain, and he's going to have a very low chance of casting a spell, then this can prevent that. And it's a way all men of arms are meant to protect the people that aren't good in combat. So this is a way that this men of arms does it. It's different, and I like that. The starting equipment, again, I gave everybody different types of equipment. So this is what the longbowman gets, and then the experience chart, just like always, is pretty much straight from the book, with the 1 becoming a 0 at the end. So instead of 2,101 needed, you just need 2,100, and it's in red. So if you're switching from a different occupation to the longbowman, that is the number of experience you need before you get to level 1. You lose that experience, and then you are a level 1. So then to get to level 2, you need to accumulate an additional 2,100. So that is how my longbowman works. It was kind of my part rogue, part men of arms, but I have a couple of people that are playing longbowmen, and they've enjoyed their characters a lot. So having said that, once again, I'm William Crafton Jr., aka Zorwatch on Less Than Guru. Until next time, I will catch you later.